I just recently played through Breath of the Wild again, and I found that in general, I remembered each area of the game quite well, even after barely playing it in the previous couple of years. That got me thinking about how well I actually know the map of Hyrule, and whether the area recognition for me is based on visual cues when walking around, or any real awareness of the relative positions and sizes of each area. So, what better way to test this than to attempt to draw the entire map? I'm not sure what I expect, but let's find out. This is my finished map. I definitely had trouble with the paths of some of the rivers, and with placing certain locations that I'd normally find easily in-game. Some parts that I had particular trouble with would be the border of East Necluda and Faron, West Hyrule near Satori Mountain, and Death Mountain, of course. Let's make some comparisons with the actual map from the game though, to see where I've got things right or horribly wrong. Since I drew my map as a square, I will stretch the game map slightly so that the borders better align with those that I've drawn, just for comparison's sake. In the northwest, I've mostly picked up the main features, but the positions and proportions are a little off. The Hebra region is not quite the right shape, as it should extend further south and be indented in the north. I've missed the Hebra Plunge Lake, as I couldn't seem to remember exactly where the Hebra Falls lead to. I also couldn't remember the positions of the hot springs around the mountains, and the mountains themselves aren't great, but the more intricate regions like these I don't expect to do too well on. The Forgotten Temple lives up to its name and is missing from the canyon, but I also thought its entrance was a lot closer to the end than it actually is. Around Hyrule Ridge, I seem to have merged Mount Rome with Lindor's Brow, and again the western side of my map should be extending further south. Similarly, in the northeast, the major features are mostly there, but my layout is a little off. I didn't really have any hope of drawing Death Mountain correctly, but I really didn't do a good job of placing the hot springs. I've completely missed Trilby Valley and one of the bridges near Akala's Citadel. I couldn't remember the military training camp's layout, but I've at least got some water in roughly the right place. Moving a little south, I've not done too badly on Zora's Domain. The uplands and reservoir are not quite the right shapes or sizes, and I had thought that Rutala River flowed to the sea, but it actually stops at the reservoir dam. Lanayru Promenade and Mount Lanayru look pretty good, but I didn't quite get the Ash Swamp and the path leading up to Hateno Village correct. I've missed a few bodies of water and generally made things compressed along the north-south direction. I got a bit confused trying to place the Rabella wetlands, as they are more inland than I remembered. Tuft Mountain is also missing, as I put Lorelin Village next to Faron Woods. The woods themselves are not too bad, but I did struggle to remember all of the waterfalls and ended up just drawing the major one down from Riola Spring. I misplaced the Menote River, so that is to the east of the plains south of Lake Hylia, rather than dividing them, and I've missed the Nortel wetlands heading towards the Gerudo region. I definitely remember these being there, but I must have forgotten to draw them. The Great Plateau is not so great, as it should be a little less circular and bigger than I have drawn it here. In the Gerudo Desert, I've made the town and bazaar a bit more northern than they should be. I also seem to have switched the positions of the canyon where the Gerudo Tower should be, and the path to the Yiga clan's hideouts. The highlands are a bit smaller than they should be, and I've not quite placed the peaks correctly. Just to the north of those, I've not got the right position for Satori Mountain, and couldn't remember the path the river takes, or where the lake and wooded area were, so mistakenly I placed these together. More generally, I didn't do a terrible job, but as I mentioned, I really struggled to remember the rivers, particularly near central Hyrule. A lot of the borders of the map are more indented than I had thought, and there are some whole areas that I missed, either because I just couldn't place them when drawing, or actually forgot that specific area existed. Overall, I give this maybe a 3 out of 5, as it's not bad at a high level, but I certainly wouldn't want to use this for navigation. As always, thanks for watching this video, and feel free to leave a like or subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. See you next time.